Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Tony Plays The Binding of Isaac. God damn it! Hope everyone's doing good. I myself am doing alright. I just saw a video right before I started recording. I got a little caught off guard for a second though, because in case you wondered, Tony, you saw there was another not recording is not the word, but there was another continue. There was another save. What was up with that? I started to record, but for like literally 2 minutes straight, the Discord, oh, you should try our new overlay fucking message was just stuck on my screen and I couldn't see anything in the top left. So I had to shut it off. Anyways, I've been thinking, Tony, what is this thing that you saw? You have, bless us with your knowledge, your absolutely amazing knowledge that I'm sure a guy like me is sure to have. Anyways, what I saw, I just couldn't believe it. But also, when I saw it, it triggered something in my brain that, I don't know, I hope you guys kind of see where I'm coming from here. So it was a post, and the post was talking about shit. I took too much damage in that first room. I'm gonna be dead ass with you. Curse of the Blind as Apollyon, you should end it. So essentially it was this post, and it's like one of those, I don't even really know what you would, like an influencer podcast or whatever. It was a clip from a podcast of these two dudes talking, and one guy was talking about here's how you cure depression, or here's how you kick depression or whatever. And he was talking about there are people that are out there saying depression isn't real or whatever, so the way to get rid of it is just eat this piece of rotten meat and you're gonna get all that bacteria in your stomach, and depression is just a lack of good bacteria in your stomach. And I just can't help but think, what's up with this, man? What is up with this shit, bro? I'm definitely not the first person to ever notice something like this. I'm not the first person that's ever gonna make a comment about something like this, but it's so weird. It kind of baffles me. I guess it's just like a byproduct of the internet or whatever, it is what it is. But the fact that anyone can just say whatever the hell they want, on the internet, and also people can just kind of make their own blasphemous ass statements and kind of be like, yeah, bro, I'm good, I won't say it rubs me the wrong way, because I don't think it's that deep to me, but it's just so odd, if I wanted to, truthfully, if I wanted to, I could just start spewing the most random bullshit on planet Earth with these, with any videos that I make going forward, you know what I mean? I could just start saying, oh, this doesn't, the Earth is flat or some stupid shit like that, and I don't, it's so crazy. It's so crazy that there will be people out there who will not go out of their way, but there are people out there that will agree with me and then defend me to the ends of the earth just because I agree with their statement, even if their statement is wrong or whatever, and brother, how you gonna say depression is caused by a lack of bacteria in your stomach or whatever? That's what are we saying, man? You know what I mean? What are we saying, dog? I'm just so baffled, low key. When I heard it in the video, my eyes, I shook my head, what the hell did he just say? That type of shit. And I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, brother. I was just what the what? Basement 2. Shit, okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to eat that at the end, and then we are going to use it in caves or whatever. Oh my god, God, I hate Apollyon. Such a, not bad character, but ugh. There's no point. In my opinion, there's no point really. I already, and a speed down. Thanks, game. I did not mean to do that. Whoopsie. I just wanted to, like, it's not an Apollyon thing. I'm just upset because I didn't get any Spirit Hearts at all, and I'm a dumbass. It's not an Apollyon thing. I don't know why I said, oh, fuck Apollyon, this character sucks. But in my opinion, it's not even worth it anymore. You know, I already had a 36% chance to get the shit. It wasn't gonna happen anyways. Tony coping, I guess, but I'd rather save it for next floor. I'd rather save it for next floor and guaranteed get the 100% chance, you know? That's just me though. That's just me. But like, I don't know, man. I find it so crazy. You could just say anything, huh? Like, you could just say whatever you want. That was a bad dodge, by the way. Dude, I don't know what's up with me. If you guys didn't see last episode, you guys might not, I don't know, you guys might think I'm a little crazy or something, but I swear to you, bro, I have been having a horrible time on Apollyon. He's not a bad character. He's an interesting character. If anything, I think my friends have said this before, and I'm slightly inclined to agree. He's kind of a boring character, you know? But I don't think he's bad, you know? He's not the worst thing ever. There's definitely worse. The Lost exists. I'm not even talking Tainted Lost, like the regular Lost exists, you know? Bro gets Spectral Tears in Flight, yeah, cool. But half the items in the game are useless on him, and he dies in one hit. Dude, hello? What the fuck? with a gun, bro. Anyways, vague threats aside, it's just so crazy to me that you can kind of go on the internet and you can just say whatever the hell you want, you know? And you might be thinking, Tony, this ain't nothing new, you know? Going on the internet spewing whatever bullshit you want, this ain't nothing new, you know? Like, you're just, I feel like you're just discovering something that everyone's known about for a while. And you could say that, yeah, you could say, oh yeah, I'm just discovering this or whatever. But I think the part that makes it stand out a little more, to me personally, is the fact that there will be people that will like agree with you and be like, no, you're right, this guy is spitting the truth. That's the insane part to me, is the fact that there are people out there that are like, no, he's spitting, bro. This guy is only speaking the truth right now, brother. And it's just like, what? No, I'm not speaking the truth. I'm stupid. But it is what it is, I guess. It's crazy, in my opinion. It's a little crazy. I can't lie. Because like, who makes these claims, you know? Like, I don't want to sound insane here either, truth be told. But I feel like, now, honestly, if I'm about to say what I say here, and if anyone disagrees or whatever, you know, maybe it's best you don't watch my channel or whatever. But it's kind of crazy to me that there are people out there that will like, and I saw this in a video. I forgot who or what the channel was, but it took this YouTuber. His name is a doctor YouTuber. His name Dr. Mike or whatever. And Dr. Mike was like debating against like a group of anti-vaxxers or whatever. And it was kind of crazy because you got to see exactly what I was talking about with like, people will defend you or defend your like whatever stupid shit you say simply because they agree with you. Because in the video, it was like a real life doctor. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it's a real ass doctor. Like, this dude like went to fucking medical school, got his degree, went to law school. Not law school, what the fuck? I've been on my Better Call Saul shit recently, so my apologies. He went to medical school, he became a doctor, you know? This man is a licensed doctor. And then there are people out there that are like, you know, unlike you, I've done my research and I know that like vaccines are bad or whatever. It's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? You've done your research, you've done your like freaking in grand total, like 10 hours of research on vaccines, while this like medical doctor who had gone to school for 4 years, studied his ass off to get a degree, is over here like, yeah, you guys are all wrong actually. And you're like, no, you're wrong because I did my research, you know? I'm more well informed than you. And it's like, I have, you know, excuse my ignorance, quote unquote, because it's funny coming from whatever the perspective I'm speaking on is. Excuse my ignorance, but you know, I feel like one of these is more valid than the other, I guess, you know? I don't know what's up with it, bro. But it's just like, motherfuckers just can't be wrong anymore, you know what I mean? That's the crazy part. I have felt this growing up because like I grew up with parents. You guys might have had this sort of, not example, but this sort of scenario before, where it's like you argue with your parent on something and you are bringing up a valid point, you know. You in your mind, you might think you're bringing up a valid point, and then your parent is just like, no, you can't do this. Why? Because I said so. Or, no, this is not the way to do it. This is the way to do it. Why? Because I said so, or whatever, you know? So growing up, I've become familiarized with this aspect of, do I get to see? I got a black hole in my fucking, in my void. That's so cringe. So, you know, they can never be wrong, you know? Essentially, I've grown up experiencing this due to, you know, sometimes if I ever got into an argument or if I ever tried to speak to my family on anything, when I was younger, is my point was never valid because I was a youngin', you know? I'm a kid, I'm their kid, they're my parent, so I have to follow whatever it is they say. Like, that is the law of the land or whatever, which I understand, you know? They obviously want whatever's best for me, what they think is best for me, I should say. And so then, you know, then comes the differing of opinions, but it came down to that sort of deal where, like, in your mind, or maybe even like if you take a look at it, 9 times out of 10, you ask 9 out of 10 people, 9 of them would say, yeah, I think these are valid points that you bring up. But because it's, you know, they're older or they're your parent, it's kind of like a, no, I'm not wrong, you're wrong sort of deal. And that shit, pisses me the hell off. And it sucks because that was something that I grew up kind of thinking I would only have to experience that when it came to my parents growing up. You know, now that I'm older, I realize, you know, it might just be a difference of opinions in some instances, or other instances could just be, you know, something else entirely. But now I gotta deal with that from like real ass like human beings that just refuse to admit any sort of wrongdoing in any capacity or any sort of, oh, you know what, maybe you are the correct one, I'm the uninformed one here. And it's just like, I don't get it, man. You know? Am I crazy for that? Call me a little crazy, you know? Call me a little crazy, call me a little insane. But I feel like it's kind of, it sucks. Plain and simple, I think it just kind of fucking sucks. My friend just booted up Hotline Miami, what the fuck? Oh, my friend's about to be so pissed. I know he is. Hotline Miami is a hard as fuck game. I would know. Tony, Hotline Miami is not that hard. I've just, you know, it's not that hard when you have 300 plus fucking hours in it. You just suck. You're just bad at the game. It's like my brother in Christ. I'm aware. I've fucking platinumed the game on PlayStation before. All right, like I think I know a thing or two about what I'm speaking on here. Straw man in my head once again. I always got to acknowledge a straw man because then I feel like. Granted though, it's like the fallacy or whatever, right? Where it's like just because someone points out a logical fallacy in your statement you're making doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically wrong. It just means that one of your argument points isn't necessarily the best argument point to use. But yeah, Hotline Miami, is a hard game. But it's just, man, that shit pisses me off, bro. That shit peels my orange. That should be PMOing, you know, or whatever. Well, like, I'm not even joking. I didn't watch the video. I've seen multiple clips of it, but I cannot bring myself to sit through the video in its entirety because it's just so, like, not cringy, but it's like infuriating. Because what they do is, like, these motherfuckers start arguing with the doctor about anti-vax and stuff, and then they will literally, like, here's what they'll do. It's like 20 people that are like ready to live and die by the anti-vax shit. Not even joking when I say it. It's like 20 motherfuckers ready to live and die by this anti-vax bullshit or whatever. My bad. I coughed up a lung. I didn't actually cough up a lung. But it's like 20 people ready to die by this anti-vax bullshit or whatever. So what they do, like, they build up a strategy that when I saw this, like, that shit had me geeked, bro. Because it was so fucking infuriating to watch. What they would do is they would have, they would go first in the argument. So, like, they would be like, here, Dr. Mike, this is why you're wrong, and anti-vax is actually horrible. Or, and like, being anti-vax is actually a smart idea. And then anytime Dr. Mike started to, like, argue back or prove them wrong, they would switch out the person that was talking with another, and then they would just kind of like rinse and repeat. They would switch out, the new person that comes in speaks first, then whenever the doctor would try and rebuttal, refute, whatever, they would switch out to the next person. So it was literally just like, Joker. You know what I mean? I feel like it'll take a genius to kind of understand where the stupid shit comes from here. You feel me? Yeah, I think you guys can kind of pick up what I'm putting down here, bro. So seeing that shit had me like, damn, y'all fucking suck. One, you guys are a bunch of dickheads. Like, I'm sorry. Not even I'm sorry. I was gonna say I'm sorry, but I genuinely, like, I think I mean this. I don't think I could necessarily be friends or have relations with anyone that was like publicly anti-vax or whatever. Cause it's like, I don't know, bro. And if someone out there sees what I'm saying and is like, Tony, I supported you until you said these obviously wrong statements, I can't watch your channel anymore. Low key, the better. Low key, the better for it, bro. Because I don't want to be associated with these kinds of motherfuckers, you know what I mean? The shit is just kind of crazy, though. Like, it's... I don't know, man. I feel like you can admit to being wrong or something like that. Anyways, so yeah, I just saw that video about the obviously, like, wrong statement regarding how depression is a fucking... What's it called? Depression is just like the lack of bacteria in your stomach. You just don't have the good bacteria, bro. Here, eat this rotten piece of meat and you'll be fine. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Unk has lost the plot, but unironically, you know what I mean? Unk done lost the plot in real life, in like, it's insane to witness. How the fuck I got no keys, bro? Hello? I don't know though, you know, just a thought, guys, just a Tony thought, you know what I mean? Not necessarily you gotta take my word, or you gotta once again, you know, you form your own opinion, brother. But I feel like this is some of the few things that I can be very vocal on and people would kind of agree with me. Also, once again, to acknowledge what it is I'm saying, I'm aware that more people agreeing with your statement doesn't necessarily make it the correct statement, but, you know, I'm self-aware enough to realize that. Some people aren't. So, you know, whatever, it is what it is. That's enough of speaking on that. Because it just, like, it gets me a little mad, I'm not gonna lie. Stupid shit like that gets me a little peeved off. But also, I wanted to... I guess not. Ow. What the fuck? Can I maybe... I don't know how I did that, but I'll take it. I don't know how I managed to... I bomb it and then it dragged it back in, but I will take it, brother. Alright, fuck this guy. I regret going into this room already, bro. But yeah, it's just like, what's the word I'm thinking of, man? What's the word I'm thinking of? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. You know, blasphemy is not the word, but it baffles me, bro, that there are people like this in real life. There are people like this in real life that live among us. Dare I say the fucking phrase, among us. These people got like jobs and shit. These people can vote or whatever. Remember that funny-ism that I mentioned a while back? It's just, oh, don't get me started, brother. Don't get me started. Tony don't wanna be on this shit. But you know, Sackhead. Why not? I actually really like Sackhead too, because it spawns bags. Bags potentially, almost always, spawn keys. Which is good, because I need keys for shit. But, you know, whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. Anyways, to speak on the topic though, because this is another game I like. I enjoy talking about games that I like a lot. And I saw this recently. AKA, I mentioned it literally just a second ago. I saw a friend of mine boot up the game Hotline Miami. Now, like, Hotline Miami, I'm gonna be real with you. I remember when it first came out, I remember it not being marketed, but like the way the YouTube videos would kind of make it seem is like Hotline Miami was this really hard game that everyone who played raged at. And I'm not gonna lie. It is a hard ass game. You know, I'm gonna be fucking real. Hotline Miami ain't really fucking easy. It is a kind of hard game. And the reason I bring this up is because my friend who is playing Hotline Miami, who booted up the game, I don't think he got anger issues, you know. But I mean, I've heard him play games, and I literally witnessed him fight the final boss of Metroid Dread yesterday. I got to bear witness to him fighting the final boss of Metroid Dread, and in my mind I knew for a first timer this is gonna be a hard fight, you know. I don't say Raven Beak is easy, but I can beat him first try guaranteed, pretty much, you know. If you put me in a room with Raven Beak, you know, gun to your head, Tony, beat the Raven Beak boss fight first try, I'm doing that shit 9 times out of 10, you know. That's not to say it's an easy boss fight though, but I acknowledge, once again, I'm self-aware enough to realize this. I acknowledge that it is a hard boss fight. I just have a lot of hours on Dread. For a game that took my friend 8 hours to beat, I have 190 hours on it, speed running, practice, and shit like that alone. You know what I mean? I like the game a lot. I think it's really fucking cool. That's why I speedran it for the time that I did. But, you know, I remember what it was like to have a fucking first playthrough. So I knew, hey, if my friend plays it, he's gonna be struggling on some aspects, and I gotta be there to give him the words of encouragement because I know it's gonna be hard. And I've seen him play other games, so like I said, a part of me when I saw him get to Rave, whatever, I'm not spoiling it. Also, the game's old or whatever. When I saw him get to Raven Beak, I was like, he definitely is most likely gonna get mad or something, you know? Like, he's gonna get to a certain point of the fight and he's gonna get pissed, or he's gonna die like in a really close time, and he's gonna like be like, oh my god, you know, shit like that, just frustrated. And I knew I gotta be there for him to make sure, you know, keep your head up, brother, you got this, don't worry. But also, like, I know it's not easy. Like, trust me, I'm aware. I know this shit ain't easy. And I will say, Hotline Miami, very, very, very fun game. I really like Hotline Miami. I think that game is sick as fuck. You know, one of my personal indie favorite games, Pandora's Box, again? Am I tweaking? Huh? Huh? What the fuck? I guess it came back up because I voided it, so I didn't technically grab it? I don't know. Interesting. Let's just fight the boss, bro. I'm not trying to deal with no bullshit today. Alright, let's hear. But anyways, like I was saying, Hotline Miami is, in my opinion, one of my more personal favorite indie game. This is a good game choices, you know? To me, Hotline Miami is a very, very, very good game, but also kind of hard. I'm aware. I've platinumed the game on PS4. I haven't 100%ed it on PC yet, but I mean, you know, I've been thinking about it. But just, you know, I know that from experience playing it on PS4, it's a hard game. That shit ain't easy. It's hard. There's definitely, if he goes for 100%, he's gonna be struggling on some aspects. You know what I mean? Trying to keep up combos or shit like that. The fact that you die in one hit is also a huge factor to like, you know, not managing expectations or whatever, but it's gonna be a huge part to if the game is easy or hard. Is if you can manage to be good at dodging to actively avoid getting hit, you know, and dying in one hit. Yo, what the hell? That was like our 4th wave. Am I tweaking? Or did they just spawn a shit ton of enemies on the first wave? Give me a sec. Guys, if you want to kill depression, just eat a year-old run meat. I'm so sorry. Do not do that. Do not do that. By the way, anyone listening out there, I doubt you. We feel like it doesn't take a lot of fucking common sense to realize, hey, maybe eating this rotten piece of meat isn't a good idea. But I saw the post again, and I don't know why. When I saw this post and it had me like, not angry. I guess I was a little angry, but I saw the post and it had me a little angry. I saw it again and I just started laughing. I was just like, this is such a fucking horrible piece of advice, you know? Like, this shit could kill someone. Maybe, no. I don't know if it depends on how bad the infection is, I guess. But like, this shit could cause physical harm to like a real ass human being. Yeah, I saw the post again because I opened up Instagram and it was the first post that I was in my fucking feed. But anyways, what I was speaking on was I forgot. Yeah, Hotline Miami is just fucking hard, bro. All right, like, I know, trust me, I am aware. Hotline Miami shit ain't fucking easy. That game is actively hard. And like I said, you gotta manage. You definitely gotta manage to like keep not your expectations, but you gotta keep your temper under wraps. You can't let that shit slip out from under you, because you know, one, I don't think getting mad over a video game is necessarily a, you know, a good thing to do. But I just, you know, I fear. I best not be putting my friend's business out there, so I'm not going to elaborate any further, but you know what I mean? On a completely unrelated note though, however, you know, it's crazy to me that they're like, they're not people, but there are games out there that are like that. And then there are also people that will, I don't know what it is, you know, maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, But I don't know what the dealio is, I guess, with like, did this happen in like recent time? Am I just out of the loop on shit like this or something? Or am I tweaking in acknowledging this, that like it feels like in recent time, in recent memory, there have been a lot of people that like, not their whole point or whatever, but a lot of what they say, a lot of what they do in regards to specific games, like the whole plan is to essentially kind of be like, nah bro, this game ain't that hard, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong for picking up on this, you know, maybe this isn't a real thing and I'm just stupid, but I feel like a lot in recent time, I have felt like whenever there has been discussion on certain games that are like known to actively be hard, there's always going to be like a few people in the comment section or whatever, or a few people making the opinion that like blank game isn't even that hard and like you're just bad if you suck at the game or whatever. And it's like, that's just not true, right? I have not 100%ed Elden Ring, but there are definitely a whole bunch of people in the community, in the freaking Soulsborne community, that will be like, bro, if you haven't tapped in and like, you know, like if you're struggling on Smo and Orenstein, like you just suck, you know, you just suck at the game. It's not that hard, really. You just need to lock in with a Black Knight Halberd and start fucking shit up. And I don't know, I feel like the thought I have is like, it's really hard, right? You know, like this shit is actually that hard. People are just kind of dickheads about it or some shit. Or like the get good mentality, you know? Like shit ain't even that bad, bro. You just gotta like lock in, you just gotta lock up, twin, or whatever. And it's like, no, bro, the shit is that hard. What did I just say? You know what I mean? It's annoying, you know? It's I get kind of like an elitist mentality or whatever, you know? Or the people that are like, oh, I did this hard thing in a video game, so I'm better than you know? And it's like, I feel, I don't know, me personally, I feel like if you put a lot of time in a game is how you get good. Not I guess a mix of time and also like actively, like, you know, learning, discovering certain things. Well, like me personally, I don't think I'm God's greatest soldier of Dark Souls or whatever, because I am just naturally such a good gamer. I'm such a GOAT gamer or whatever. I think I'm solid at Dark Souls and Elden Ring and, you know, games like that because I just have a lot of fucking time playing them, you know? I just really like the Dark Souls series, which is why I play it a lot. I've been playing Elden Ring Seamless Co-op recently with a friend. It's been very fun. However, my friend is the kind of person who likes to min-max a lot, and I'm not a go with the flow. I like to min-max certain things too. However, for some reason, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna explain this to you and maybe you can see where I'm coming from with not my frustration, but like, I even feel bad saying this just because this person is my friend, but like it is how I feel. Like this sort of, I don't even know how to say it. I don't want to say annoyance because that sounds mean. But it's like, I don't want to 100% Elden Ring. I just want to play the game. You know what I mean? And I don't think he actively wants to 100% Elden Ring or whatever. But what the dealio is like he wants to do every quest line. You got to get everything done, that kind of deal. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's kind of like, gotten me twisted a little bit because it's like, brother, I don't want to have to deal with all of that, you know? Me personally, someone who likes Elden Ring a lot, I brought this up to him, and I also brought this up to some other friends. I find it interesting how I am the person on my friends with the most amount of time spent on Elden Ring. If you guys are unaware, because I don't expect you guys to like know my Steam profile or some shit like that, but I have 283 hours on Elden Ring. Not nowhere near the thousands, not Destiny territory, and you know, shit like that. But it's like, I don't know, man. I just like Elden Ring a lot. I think Elden Ring's a very good game. I think it's a very fun game, personally. You know, just my thoughts. I think Elden Ring is a very good game that I enjoy a lot. I will give it the time of day because it deserves the time of day. You picking up what I'm putting down here? But, you know, I have mentioned I'm actively on my patrol, I guess is not the right term, but I'm trying to 100% Elden Ring on one save file. But a part of me is like, not even, like I said, it's not annoyance. I feel bad calling it an annoyance or whatever. But it's like, my friend wants to do every single quest line. That was the first thing he mentioned to me. And I was like, man, I don't want to do this shit, you know? Like, a part of my brain was like, man, I don't want to do this. Oh, my Book of Belial! No, I forgot to grab my Book of Belial. I'm so stupid. I got so thirsty for the, what's it called? For grabbing all those keys and shit and dealing with the key beggar. I completely forgot to snatch up my Book of Belial again. Damn it. Oh well, it is what it is. But I mean, dude, it's just like, you know, like when I play Elden Ring, I want to play Elden Ring because it's a fun game. You know, I want to play Elden Ring because it's fun. I just kind of want to, if it's seamless co-op especially, I want to do the seamless co-op shit because it's cool. But my friend wants to do all like the what's it called? Wants to do all the quest lines for, I don't really know, because it's not like any of our builds I think require the game to be 100%ed. And like, I guess if we set out together to do a 100% thing, I'm not against it. I am having fun doing the playthrough with my friend. But just a part of me is like, I'm already doing a 100% playthrough. I really don't want to be doing 2. I feel like I'm gonna get super duper burnt out. You know what I mean? And but you know what's funny is I feel like I'm not even gonna be the one that's gonna get burnt out. I enjoy Elden Ring a lot. I like playing Elden Ring a lot. That's why I have 280 hours or whatever on that game. And honestly, it's gonna keep going up. To me, Elden Ring might be one of the few like perfect games out there. I know that might be a crazy take, a crazy opinion. Someone out there is definitely going to tell me to kill myself for saying this, but it's just, that's how I see it, and I see it to be true. To me, Elden Ring is one of the few, like, perfect, this game is a 10 out of 10 games out there. The only other game that I can think of that even reaches that level is like Resident Evil 4, you know, or like MGS5. And you know what's funny is that all the games that I'm mentioning are single player games, which, coincidence, question mark? Coincidence, guys? Single player games are really good and more people should play them instead of only playing multiplayer games. Maybe, but you know, I'm not a philosopher for saying this. This is rhetoric that's been spewed for time and time on end now. I'm no philosopher here. But yeah, it's a great game. To me, Elden Ring, it honestly, definitely also might be thinking, Tony, how come you're gonna get killed for saying this? Because I feel like a lot of people in the Soulsborne franchise, like, that are fans of it or whatever, would be like, yeah, Elden Ring is good, it doesn't hold a candle to Dark Souls 3 or whatever. And you know what, man? I think some part of me agrees to that, to some of that sentiment. There are a lot of amazing fights in Dark Souls 3. But there's also some aspects of Dark Souls 3 that I'm not necessarily a fan of. Or even then, there's like very little that I'm not a fan of. Some of the boss fights I kind of find atrocious. And this is just a nitpick at this point, because I know, due to the fact that I have made multiple playthroughs, my pacing for how I play the game is going to be different from other people. So trust me, I am aware of knowing that anytime that I fight Pontiff Sulyvahn, there's a good chance I am maybe a little bit too underleveled for the fight, and so it ends up kind of being a little bit hard. But regardless, besides that, he is a pretty fucking hard check of a boss, I'm not gonna lie. Now, I will say, I'm good at the game. I have learned to, you know, parry the hell out of Pontiff, and also I can kind of just like consistently not beat him first try, but I can consistently not have a hard time the way someone else might have a hard time on Pontiff. You know what I mean? I remember me and my friends, we did a Dark Souls 3 race, and I think I was one of the only people that even beat Pontiff. I'm pretty sure I was the only person who beat Pontiff in our race. Cause like halfway through, they were like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is hard. Plus, like, this should be pissing me off. And I'm not gonna lie, I get it. I fucking get it, bro. Dark Souls 3 is a hard game. I understand where they're coming from, you know? That's all I'm trying to say here. I understand where they're coming from. But to me, personally, you know, just to me personally, Dark Souls 3 is very good, but I think Elden Ring improves on it way more. Elden Ring, to me, has a lot of cooler bosses, cooler boss fights. Oh, you know, some of these bosses are poorly designed, I will say. Just minor spoilers, not even minor, major spoilers for the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. But the initial Radahn fight that you do in base game Elden Ring, in my opinion, really cool fight, really good, really well made, in my opinion. It's awesome, it's sick. The Radahn fight in the DLC might be, just plain and simple, one of the worst fights in Dark Souls history. And I mean that with my entire chest. Tony, just get good, you fucking suck. No, bro. No. That fight is just plain bad. It is hard as fuck. You know what I mean? For someone that spent over, you know, a couple hours trying to fight Malenia, but eventually learning and getting good at her fight, realizing, yeah, this fight is like it's got a hard learn to it, you know? The fight itself is hard due to the fact that you don't really know what's going on at first, but as you learn the fight, you can kind of pick up, okay, this I can kind of, you know, fuck her over on this, or I can take advantage of this. In the Radahn fight, bro, there is no such thing as taking advantage of any sort of time, you know? Bro is just chaining attacks together non-stop, and what you gotta do is you gotta lock in, twin, and you just gotta get pot shots in, you know? And instead of the kind of fight where it's like I hit you, you hit me, but I dodge it, and then in the point of you failing to hit me, you missed, I'm gonna take advantage, I'm gonna hit you. No, it's no such thing as that. You don't wait for the enemy's prime opportunity to attack, you know what I mean? The enemy prime consort Radahn just keeps on swinging, and you just gotta, you know, throw a hit in on the rare chance that you're able to. You know what I mean? He'll do like 6 attacks back to back, and you just gotta kind of like hit him between attacks 3 and 4 once, and then you just gotta wait again. It fucking blows. I can say this with the utmost confidence, having done the fight for fucking a lot. I did the fight a lot. I did a lot of fight in Elden Rings a lot. I do ONS a lot. And I can say ONS might, you know, some people say is one of the harder fights in the Dark Souls series, in the Soulsborne series. Just due to the fact that it is, what's it called? Like 2 people at once. One of them a very slow guy, and the other one is the freaking speed of light. But you know, even with this, I know that Prime Consort Radahn is like 10 times as hard. And I never struggled this much with ONS, you know? Someone who has like a collective over 1,000 hours in the Souls series, a la me, you know, is having a hard ass time with this fight due to the fact that it literally, you get 0 openings. And it's not like, oh, you just have to respect Radahn, you know? You just have to respect the opportunities he gives you to attack. There's no such thing. There is no such thing as the opportunity to attack, motherfucker. It's just, he does a relentless all-out attack on your ass, and you just gotta take the beating. You gotta take the pounding, bro. You know what I mean? You guys might think it a crazy sentence to say, but it's just fucking true. Fighting Prime Consort Radahn is literally, bro, just... I'm sorry, excuse my vulgarity, is bro just fucking you, and you just gotta take it. You just gotta wait for the, like, split frame opportunity you have to, like, hit him back, you know, to give him the back shots. And then it's back to you getting your back blown out for the next fucking 5 hours of attempts. It is a hard-ass fight. That shit fucking sucks. My friend who beat Malenia in 2 tries took over like 100+ something attempts on Radahn. You know what I mean? That motherfucker is just hard as shit. And excuse my vulgarity, I've been cursing a lot, but it's just like, there's no other way to describe how I'm feeling. There's no other way to get the point across. This dude is a hard ass boss. This dude kind of blows, you know? Get money equals power. Best touch. Yeah, but yeah, you know, once again, my apologies, excuse my vulgarity, but I feel like it was the only way to truly get the point across in a proper meaning, you know? Is that there is someone out there who will look you in the eyes and tell you either A, Prime Consort Radahn is an easy fight, or, you know, it's not that bad, or B, that it is a good fight. And it's just like, no, you gotta admit you're wrong, bro. Who would it get? Tony managed to loop it back to the admitting you're wrong sentiment from earlier. But it's like, brother, you just gotta admit you're wrong at some point, right? That's how I feel here. Is that you cannot look me in the eyes with a straight face and tell me that this is a good fight, bro. That this isn't some of the most BS that you've seen in the Soul series. By far. You know, it's tough, and I can't even say it's fair, you know? It's tough but fair. Better call Saul, head ass. But no, it's not. It's tough, and it's not even fair. It's just, I don't even know. I don't even know how to describe it, man. I feel like it's crazy. I feel like I described it best earlier. It's just backshots. Don't even get me started on his second phase, bro. Don't even get me started on the second phase when bro pulls out the most BS attacks on planet Earth. The wipe the entire screen attack mixed into the dodging the 80 after images. It peels my orange. It peels my orange, bro. That's all I can say, truly. Is that stuff really peels my orange, man. But I mean, it is what it is, you know. I sure hope I would have maybe gained not even the skill, just, I don't know. I'll be real, because It's crazy. When I beat Radahn, I feel like there was no skill involved. It was just luck. I was just attempting, and I just got a lucky attempt that just so happened to kill him, you know? And I didn't have to face the consequences of Big Daddy Radahn. I beat him out of sheer luck. Victory lap? No thank you. Alright. Anyways, Radahn backshots aside. We did it. Thank you all for watching. If you guys did enjoy, greatly appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good day and or good night, depending on the time reviewing this. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.